money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This is the money game.
But
we in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself.
Before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
And we don't play it, and people ain't in positions. But that happens in all business.
Right. The recent headline in the entertainment world is that Monique has joined forces with Katt Williams to expose the shady side of the comedy world. While the alliance between the duo wasn't expected, it seems that Williams' appearance on the Club Shay Shay podcast was just the beginning of what promises to be a scathing expose. During this podcast, Williams made some explosive accusations against some artists, specifically calling out Steve Harvey for being a thief on Bernie Mac and claiming that Harvey sold his soul for fame and money. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. With Monique joining him, the duo is set out to expose more darker truths about the industry. Join us in this video as we unravel these dark truths. Starting off, Katt Williams' appearance on the Club Shay Shay podcast on January 4th made waves, but it was his comments about Steve Harvey that really got people talking. Following this, Katt also revealed the reason he turned down a role in the original Kings of Comedy, a decision that many have speculated on for years. He also dragged Cedric the Entertainer and Ricky Smiley along the way. He alleges that Steve Harvey and the two aren't only colleagues in the comedy industry, they share secrets and are co-entwined. Meanwhile, Monique has also voiced her dissatisfaction with Steve's complacency with the industry elite and his alleged role in blackballing comedians. Long before Katt's interview, she appeared on the Steve Harvey Show to speak about her experience with the film Precious. She and her husband and manager Sidney Hicks were labeled as difficult after they pushed back against the producer's demand for her to do more Oscar campaigning. According to her, she only said one word, which is no. I said no to some powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels. And I said no to Lionsgate. The difficulty came when people who look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, and Lee Daniels, and I have put my brother Steve Harvey on the list, knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong.
We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels, and I said no to Lionsgate. And the difficulty came in when people that look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve on the list. Y'all knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong.
The comedian added that she felt betrayed by the way Harvey publicly criticized her for how she handled the situation with Winfrey, Daniels, and Perry.
And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges, and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt?
But Harvey countered her position by saying,
done yourself a disservice by the way you chose to go about it.
Tell me how I went about it.
I was cool with you with your deal with Netflix. I was cool with you. The two problems that we had, number one, the boycott of Netflix,
yes.
We never gave people a point of action. Okay, if we're gonna boycott, are we gonna not get subscriptions? Are we gonna turn it off? Or are we gonna go down there and get signs? The second point, what was coming to me was, this problem that you had in Netflix is rich people problems.
Back in 2019, the comedian sued Netflix for gender and racial bias. Monique claims she received an offer to lead her comedy special, but the company failed to negotiate a fair deal. Reportedly, the streaming platform only offered her $500,000 in contrast to Amy Schumer and other male comedians who were making millions for their stand-up specials. She deemed this to be quite an insult. Monique countered that her family had suffered not only financially, but also in terms of future opportunities as a result of the Oscar flap and the failed Netflix deal. She further stated that prominent African Americans in Hollywood, including Harvey himself, had not stood by her publicly. When questioned by Monique as to why he had not supported her, Harvey responded, "This is the money game. This ain't the black man. This ain't the white man game. This is the money game. We're in the money game, and you cannot sacrifice yourself."
We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This is the money game.
Monique then called him out, saying, before the money game, it's called the integrity game, and we've lost integrity worrying about money.
Yeah.
Before the money game, it's called the integrity game, and we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
Steve Harvey's response to Monique's questions was troubling. His admission that he was more concerned with money than integrity was shocking, to say the least. He seemed to be suggesting that it was okay to put his financial interests ahead of the well-being of his friends and colleagues, even if it meant turning a blind eye to their struggles or failing to speak out about his challenges. This attitude flies in the face of basic human decency and compassion and raises serious questions about Harvey's true values. Williams' critique of Harvey seems more justified than ever. Steve even went on to further justify his stand against integrity in the face of money. If I crumble, my children crumble. My grandchildren crumble. I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble. Now, Monique had appeared on the Harvey Show to seek support from him as a fellow black artist, but unfortunately, it's the opposite she was met with. Following the interview, comedian and actress Monique said a whole lot was cut from her heated discussion with Steve Harvey. It was two friends sitting down and having an open and honest conversation that was long overdue. There was a whole lot that was cut out. It was a conversation that had to be had, she said.
Well, it was two friends sitting down having an open and honest conversation that was long overdue. And that's what exactly happened. We had a conversation that was long overdue. Now, there was a whole lot that you guys didn't get a chance to see that was cut out.
Monique added, when I say to a man that I've known for 25 years, y'all say that I did nothing wrong privately, but none of you were courageous enough to say it publicly, and a lot of that was cut out of the conversation.
When I say to a man that I've been knowing for over 25 years, you all said that I did nothing wrong privately, but none of you were courageous enough to say it publicly. And a lot of that was cut out from that conversation.
Steve Harvey later expressed regret for his own words and actions during the interview, taking full responsibility for them. I've got to slow down when I'm talking, Harvey said during an interview with People. I can't get into heated discussions, and I've got to just guard my words more carefully. I take full responsibility for it. It came out of my mouth, so I can't say that I didn't say it, Harvey said. But to people that really know me, I have lived my whole life as a man of integrity. So when I was referring to integrity in that interview, I was talking about the method in which things were being done, and that is all it was. Meanwhile, in an interview with Essence, Monique explained that she learned the importance of patience in the face of adversity while advocating for pay equity in Hollywood. She understands that many people are afraid of speaking out against injustice for fear of losing their jobs or opportunities, but she feels that it's important to do so in order to create a better future for the next generation. Monique emphasized that while she may have to face personal consequence for her activism, she hopes that by doing so, she can help to ensure that the next generation of women of color will be treated fairly. Besides being chided by Steve Harvey for her action, Monique was also involved in a verbal fight with Whoopi Goldberg over her boycott of Netflix. According to her, Goldberg urged her to stop worrying about the future generation and focus on herself, accepting the salary she's given. When I get Whoopi Goldberg on the flip saying, "Forget those little ones coming behind you. You better give a care about you," that crushed me that day in her dressing room, she said.
Because see, Whoopi Goldberg told me the salary she makes from The View, and that hurt my feelings, that you've been there for 10 years and you accept them paying you that, and you telling me, don't worry about the little one coming up. God damn if I ain't gotta be worried about you too.
Monique's conflict with Whoopi Goldberg began in February 2018 when the two women argued about whether Monique should have promoted the movie Precious more. When you make a movie, regardless of who you sign the deal with, your job is to go and promote said movie, Goldberg said. When they wanted you to come, and we've had this conversation, I said, if you had called me, I would have schooled you on what was expected. Katt Williams has also exposed several other comedy sellouts in his interview on the Club Shay Shay podcast. Williams was unsparing in his criticism of Cedric the Entertainer, whom he accused of stealing his very best jokes. Cedric the Entertainer denied stealing Williams' joke about his own 2022 appearance on the Club Shay Shay podcast, but Williams doubled down on the accusation in Club Shay Shay.
Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke?
Yeah.
He said it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up?
Furthermore, Williams alleged during the show that comedian Ricky Smiley had lied about his claim that he was supposed to play Money Mike in the 2022 movie Friday After Next, instead of Williams. Meanwhile, Smiley played the role of a Santa Claus robber, but he claimed that it was Williams who was supposed to play it. Williams further claimed that Smiley, Cedric, and Steve Harvey had lied against him and tried to prevent him from getting work. Williams said that Smiley kept showing up to his auditions and spreading negative rumors about him, allegedly at the behest of Harvey and Cedric. Now, with these explosive revelations from Katt Williams and Monique, it's clear that the public persona of many popular comedians is quite different from the reality of who they are behind the scenes. These revelations have left us wondering who in the comedy world is truly genuine and honest. That's it for today. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel for more exciting updates in the celeb world.